Serhii Bohachuk is a solid fighter. 29 years old from Ukraine. He's got an accomplished amateur record. And if I had to think of like a phrase or a way to kind of sum up the fighting style of Bohachuk, what I'd say is he's a man who's very good at the fundamentals. I wouldn't say that he's mastered them. I wouldn't say that he has anything crazy, exotic, or special in his game, but he's a man who is very good at the fundamentals. You look at number one, the first thing that stands out is the way this dude applies pressure. I mean, he comes forward in a way that doesn't really allow you to breathe. He's I almost want to use the term relentless, but it's not like this crazy, unhinged, just coming forward pressure. I could turn around and I could say that Vergil Ortiz, the guy he's fighting this fight, Vergil Ortiz fights off the front foot. Vergil Ortiz is aggressive. Vergil Ortiz likes to come forward. And if I said all that, it'd be true. But if you watch both of these guys fight, clearly they're aggressive and they come forward in a different way, right? And the easiest guy or the first guy that comes to my mind when I think about as far as a comparison to the way that Bohachuk comes forward and aggressive, it's Antonio Margarito. Now, he was a guy who was relentless, right? So he wasn't quite as relentless as Margarito. And, of course, the dude ain't got the loaded gloves or anything like that. But he does apply pressure in a way that doesn't allow you to breathe, doesn't allow you to get your distance, doesn't allow you to get the spacing and the rhythm and fight at the pace that you want. Like I said, he also cuts off the ring really well. So he's not just out there following you around. He's going to apply that pressure. He's going to do it intelligently. He works behind the jab. Dude's got a good jab. Again, very good at the fundamentals. Anybody that you refer to as a guy that's good at the fundamentals better have a good jab. Bohachuk does. He's got a thudding right hand. Likes to come forward and behind that jab, he'll throw a right hand behind it. But as I mentioned, he doesn't have anything special about him. He doesn't have anything exotic. He's not some crazy physical specimen. Doesn't have awesome athletic ability. Not a super good counterpuncher. Not these crazy reflexes and these fast hands or whatever. A good fighter. Maybe even go so far as to say a very good fighter. Now, that being said, he does have some defensive flaws. Particularly the thing that stands out to me is that left hook. Man, he gets caught with some left hooks, okay? Number one, we saw Brandon Adams knock him out with that left hook. Now, and what I will say is this. I think, even though he's susceptible to the left hook because we've seen him get caught with it multiple times by multiple people, that one that he got caught with was a little bit interesting in the sense that I think it was a lapse of judgment. You look at the film and how he's coming in, he gets caught right in the middle of like a 4-punch combination. But it was the way he lands these 2 punches. Brandon Adams backs up to the ropes and he steps in and throws these 2 shots to the body. And I swear, man, I'm telling you, I've seen 1,000 dudes go through this combination 1,000,000 times on the heavy bag in the gym. Just the way that he steps forward and just fires off these 2 shots to the body. He's got no defensive awareness. He's squaring up his feet. He's got like no just a thought process whatsoever about what may be coming back towards him, right? He just steps forward and fires off these 2 shots, and it's a fight that he was in control of. It's the middle of the 8th round, and it just gives me this vibe that just for that split second, it's almost like he forgot he was in a fight, and he was out there just going about his business in a very normal manner. And he got caught with that hook, man, and that was it, lights out. And then, like I said, we saw him get caught multiple times against Mendoza as well. And I'll add this one caveat about Bohachuk's game. The inside game is where he shines the most, man. Whenever you see this dude get inside, he wants to back his opponent up. Wants to either get him against the ropes, wants to get him in the corner, something like that. And once he gets his man there and he gets to that inside distance, dude, he is going to get to work. He is going to let his hands go. He's going to start throwing off some shots. We've seen him particularly with that right uppercut. Man, he will catch guys. So if you let this dude back you up, you let this dude get into the spot that he wants to and just apply that pressure and throw those punches and he backs you up, gets you in the corner, gets you against the ropes, man, that is not the spot that you want to be against a guy like Bohachuk. Now, standing across from him, we got Vergil Ortiz. I open this up by saying that I think Bohachuk is a good fighter, maybe even a very good fighter. I think Vergil Ortiz is a special fighter. Now, the best that we've ever seen him, in my opinion, that was back when he was at 147. Since then, he had that really long layoff due to some medical issues that he was facing. Comes back at 154. That first fight that he came back at 154, man, he looked sluggish. He looked slow. As soon as he comes out there, I'm sitting there, I'm watching it, particularly when you watch the film back to back. You go out there and you watch his fights at 147, and then you go and you watch him at 154 in that first fight, and opening up, he looks slow, man. He looks sluggish. He looks out of rhythm. Things just don't look good. Now, he gets his guy out of there in the first round. By the end of the first round, the fight's still over. So you look and you say, that's exactly what we're looking for from our guy. I totally get that. And I'll also add that by the time that fight ended, the way he opened up, it was like he was starting to feel it again a little bit, starting to get in a little bit better rhythm. Like he was those joints were starting to loosen it up a little, and he was starting to let those combinations flow, and he got his guy out of there. Great. Comes back, very next fight, boom, gets his guy out of there again. Great. You know, the power that Vergil Ortiz has. Okay, he's got this shotgun jab, man. He just comes out there, bang, and he just lets that thing fly, man. And you could tell that dudes feel that shot. Great accuracy. Look at the way that he's able to get these shots on the liver, man. Whether he's shooting a jab, whether he's coming with the hook. Look at the way he's coming back with some of these counters. Like, they're fast, man. He's got really good reflexes. He's got really good accuracy, very high ring IQ and punch selection. Defensively, I like the way that we're starting to see him use more head and upper body movement. Right? He comes out there, he's fighting behind that high guard, but he's not just sitting there absorbing all the shots with the high guard. He's actually being a little bit active in the way that he'll pick some of those shots off, or in the way that he's using the head and upper body movement to avoid it altogether, and the way he'll work that head and upper body movement into his counters, right? Those are all super high level things, but that's the type of thing that you want to see from a guy, because Vergil Ortiz has the potential to be the best in the world at whatever weight division he's competing at. So you want to see this man start to utilize techniques that you see amongst the best in the world. You want to see his game continue to evolve and grow, because he's not an old man. He is still up on the come up. And I'll also add this. I directly compared the way that he fights and he applies his aggression to the way Bohachuk does. So Bohachuk is coming forward, wants to back you up, get you against the ropes. He's very relentless, not letting you breathe and get the space and the rhythm and all of that kind of stuff. Vergil Ortiz is more of a stalker, much more of a patient guy in the way that he applies his pressure. But this dude isn't backing up. He's not fighting off the bat foot. He's not trying to set traps and lead you around and everything and do his countering that way. He's going to get his counter shots off, but he's going to do it aggressively. You know, and he wants to be on that front foot, ready to go, springing like a cobra. And then as soon as he sees that opportunity, as soon as he gets that littlest window, dude, he's going to make things happen. He's going to be explosive. He's going to land power shots. He goes out there and he throws his punches with bad intentions. And you can see it. This dude is a power puncher, but he's continuing to evolve as a power puncher. He's not just like some crazy, reckless power puncher that you kind of look and you kind of just wonder, like, I wonder what's going to happen. He's going to run in there against a boxer and somebody's going to catch him. At what point is somebody going to figure him out? Vergil Ortiz, highly skilled, special fighter. He's going to come out with the victory in this one. I think that he's going to have some difficulty at times. There's going to be little bits, particularly early in the fight, where Bohachuk's able to use that pressure and that relentlessness and that aggression to his advantage. He's going to be able to go in there, and sometimes if he gets on the inside, some of those punches that he can throw will seem to overwhelm. Right? We saw that at times against Mendoza. Now, the difference is when Mendoza was able to get his shots off, he wasn't always able to hurt Bohachuk. Really, you know what I mean? Like, he was able to go in there and get some shots off, and they were clean, man. They were solid. Bohachuk keeps it moving, man. He's got a good chin. I don't think he's going to run it. I don't think that's going to be the scenario with Vergil Ortiz. I think when he starts to come forward, there'll be times he gets his work done, but he's there to be caught, as I mentioned, particularly with the left hook. And when he does get caught, he's going to feel it. And I think that once he starts to feel it, Vergil Ortiz starts to go down to the body, that starts to slow him down a little bit. That's when we're going to start to see a change. And if Bohachuk does not have that relentless aggression, if he's not just coming forward and not letting his guy get a rhythm and set up and fight at the distance he wants, and he's not completely controlling the fight that way, I think at that point it's going to start to spiral quickly. I think he needs that. He needs to come forward. He needs that part of his game. If this is on the outside or even if it's at middle distance, man, he's going to get torn up. So I think this is going to be a good fight for Vergil Ortiz. I expect him to look impressive, but at the same time, we see him get challenged a little bit in spots, and we see that how he's continued to grow and evolve as a fighter. And this is just going to continue the conversation of what we want to see from this man next, right? Because 154 has got some players in it. We just saw Terrence Crawford go out there and do a very impressive performance against Madrimov. We know what Tim Tszyu is capable of. We're talking about Fedor in this division who's got a belt. Like, there's a lot of things going on. I mean, of course, when we're talking about Fedor, we're talking about Errol Spence. I haven't really mentioned his name. Not that he's not big enough, not that he isn't accomplished enough, but the man is not accomplished at 154. We haven't seen him in the ring ever since he took that beating with Terrence Crawford. And to be perfectly honest, who knows when we're going to see him back in there. I want to see him back in there, but that doesn't mean he wants to be back in there. That doesn't mean he's medically fit to fight. Maybe his best days are in the rearview mirror. And the next time we see him in there, definitely isn't the best Spence we've ever seen. I'm not really excited about that. Dude, I've been a fan of Errol Spence ever since he was in the amateurs, man, in the Olympics. I'm really not interested in seeing this dude go out there and take a beating. I'm not interested in seeing this dude go out there and not perform at his best. Now, even though he took a beating and did perform at his best against Terrence Crawford, I love the fight because that was a fight we had all been waiting to see for so long. Like, how could you not enjoy that? How could you not celebrate the performance that Terrence Crawford put on and everything about that? But that's in the past, man. That's in the rearview mirror. It's behind us going forward. I don't know if we're going to be talking about Errol Spence like that. Remains to be seen. This dude could go out here and shock us all with the performance that he puts on, and he shuts down Fedor, and we're left just scratching our heads like, man, now what do we do? Right? We were all thinking one thing, and now it's another. So, but in this one, we're going to be talking about Vergil Ortiz when it's all said and done. And we're going to be not only comparing him to how he looked at 147 before the medical complications. We're going to be talking about the type of opponent that he was fighting here against Bohachuk, and we're going to be talking about what's going to be next for this man, because 154's got some good fights in the very near future should these gentlemen want to make it. So let me know what you guys think. Is Vergil Ortiz Jr. really going to be one of the players at 154? Does he deserve? Is he really should be amongst the best in the world? What are we going to be talking about after this fight? And what type of an opponent do you think Bohachuk is? Like, how much resistance do you think he's really going to offer? Let me know what you guys think.